Today's August 4th, 2014. I realized there's one more part I'd better put in this current urgent set. Normally, I have the opportunity, and I take it, to utilize the laptop, my laptop, that has a video editing program that will let me remove the last few digits of the phone number. But I'm not being provided such opportunity at present, and I'm fighting off the effects of the most recent round of toxic gas. And people who are good at hearing changes in the voice, things like that, probably explains a reason that musical artists in particular are targeted in this kind of way. And or more observant about such kind of targeting, probably both. Their ability to discern different sounds, frequencies, between background, foreground, high, low, etc. What's really noise, what really has a pattern to it, as opposed to being randomly generated noise, etc. When things are the same, like the exact same background, quote, music in Las Vegas, Nevada, as in Huntsville, Alabama, days to weeks later, those are in my files. If for some reason I'm not able to go back and organize as well as I'd like to point things out to make it easier for people to follow, please bring it to the attention of the current United Nations Special Rapporteur on Torture, Professor Juan E. Mendez. Let's see. I think I said that I would have edited that out the last few digits, but due to my current emergency circumstance, needing to defend myself and others, I just have to go ahead and proceed to post the raw files. So I did not know why I kept being set up with these otherwise nonsensical emails about suddenly not wanting to, quote, scare me, etc., like I'm so fragile or something, or so easily scared, which I certainly have not ever been. And certainly not without cause. I have at times been hypervigilant, like right now, and that certainly is with cause. I also have a permission letter written by Dr. L and witnessed by Dr. M. I believe it might even be notarized. To drive any of the vehicles I want. That's the most formal, recent formal state of affairs in writing. But in practice, even though this is my waterproof cased camera, so it's the least good for picking up audio, but it's one of the best for picking up close-up visuals. People, if necessary, can hear what's going on in the background right outside my open window. It's not good. This goes with the receipt from McDonald's last night in the 11 o'clock hour. I was originally invited to the same exact diner, I won't name it, but the same exact diner where the most recent file that's pinned, it's at the top of facebook.com/SNOEOAWC, had locals, including people at the diner, sitting around talking about how they could set me up. So it's certainly not paranoia. And wasn't it so nice that I got invited if I wanted to go out to have dinner there? Well, I agreed to have dinner at another place, but it proved not to be any better, although my favorite waitress was there. Her name starts with an A, and she did not participate in the nonsense against me, and I thank her for that. But beyond that, I don't want to name her, to involve her, cause her any issues or anything. So I'm just mentioning thank you to her. If she's listening or somebody tells her I said so. And thank you to the companies that at least refuse to participate in this kind of targeting. It is clear that some companies have taken quite a lot of money to participate in this kind of targeting. Very, very, very sad. What I need to do from there, I think that was the last one for the night. I think the most relevant one was this one right here. Okay, 11:59 p.m., yeah. Okay. My cursor on this phone suddenly mysteriously stopped working, so I have to keep thinking also about what to press to get where I need to without showing anybody else's information or any private information that I can avoid showing. Potentially private, or just, anybody else's. Even if they've been an organized perpetrator, I try to keep them out of it, because I certainly can relate to, not to perpetrating, thank God, but to the coercion and the intimidation and all that they are subject to. So, let me come into this folder. I'm going to Sent. I was the most responsible driver. It's just a matter of fact. It's well known in my family and by many other witnesses, people that were at the American School Foundation of Guadalajara in Jalisco, Mexico, for example. I was the one that was responsible for driving others. I'll just leave it at that right now. But from the house to school. And I was before technically legal driving age, which is or at least was very common there in Guadalajara, Jalisco, Mexico, where it was not uncommon, probably still is not, to see 9-year-olds driving pickup trucks to make deliveries to and from the market where, their parents are selling grocery items, things like that, like apples and what have you. I already had to issue a similar message to Dr. M, and now, sadly, I've had to issue that as well to Dr. L, as a matter of defense of self and others. Because every contact or lack thereof, if I fail to respond or if I do respond, they sit there with quite a staggering number of people figuring out how they could be used to set me up to look like, something. Whether it's under pretense of being odd and therefore needing some kind of medical intervention, mental health intervention, what have you, or being suspicious and then needing some kind of law enforcement intervention, what have you. So, and of course everything's been made more and more difficult for me on top. In addition to fighting off the toxic fumes, etc., which people, like musical artists, people who are trained for audio stuff can hear especially. That's a reason. I did notice that there were musical artists in particular seem to be targeted and what have you. I did not know yet quite why, but that would be a reason why. Both the way their brains work in terms of the bridging between their left and the right sides of the brain, that would be of interest to the organized perpetrators. And their ability to discern that certain, quote, noise is not simply noise, which part of the definition of noise is randomness, but patterns, such as the same, quote, music playing in Las Vegas, Nevada, as days to weeks later playing in Huntsville, Alabama, when Dr. M picked me up from the Huntsville International Airport from the Las Vegas, Nevada trip, during which, and there's video up showing this, a circle of men that appear to be human traffickers were deliberately blocking my door, and they even referenced how they were assigned to do so, and that is audible in the video. And the current surge in trying to set me up for any which thing possible has been especially to the max since then, as well as a legitimate activity to prevent that video from processing, staying online, etc.